The President and the Puppeteer. Story time. President Jonathan Matheson stood at the podium, the weight of the nation's expectations pressing down on him. The crowd filled the expansive National Mall, a sea of faces stretching as far as the eye could see. The sun bathed the scene in a golden glow, casting a sense of hope and anticipation upon the gathering. Behind Matheson, the grand columns of the Capitol building rose majestically, a symbol of the nation's strength and resilience. The stage was adorned with patriotic colors, the presidential seal proudly displayed at the center. The air was electric, buzzing with excitement and nervous energy. As Matheson began his inaugural address, his voice echoed through the vast space, amplified by powerful speakers strategically placed to ensure that every word reached the eager ears of the attendees. The crowd hung on his every word, their eyes fixed on the president, waiting to be inspired, waiting to witness the birth of a new era. I stand before you today not just as your president, but as a guardian of our democracy, Matheson declared, his voice steady and resolute. The words resonated with the crowd, stirring emotions of patriotism and unity. Applause rippled through the masses, their cheers blending into a crescendo of hope and support. As Matheson continued his address, his gaze swept across the sea of faces, making eye contact with individuals from all walks of life. He saw the young and the old, the hopeful and the weary, united in their shared belief in a brighter future. In that moment, Matheson understood the weight of responsibility resting upon his shoulders. The sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the scene as Matheson concluded his speech. The crowd erupted in thunderous applause, their cheers mingling with the faint strains of patriotic music playing in the background. As Matheson stepped down from the podium, he felt a mix of relief, pride, and a tinge of uncertainty. The journey ahead would be arduous, but the energy and support of the American people fueled his determination to face the challenges head-on. As President Matheson settled into the Oval Office, whispers of a whistleblower reached his ears. The anonymous source claimed to have evidence of high-level corruption within the government, a smoking gun that could expose the deep state. Intrigued and cautious, Matheson called for a meeting with his most trusted advisor, Sarah Bennett, and his primary investigator, Special Agent Robert Daniels. The Oval Office, with its richly decorated walls adorned with historic artwork, exuded a sense of power and gravitas. The iconic Resolute desk took center stage, its polished surface reflecting the soft glow of the desk lamp. Matheson sat behind the desk, his brow furrowed with a mix of anticipation and trepidation. Sarah and Robert entered the room, their footsteps muffled by the plush carpeting. The air was thick with anticipation, charged with the weight of the information they were about to receive. They greeted Matheson with nods, their eyes conveying a mix of determination and concern. "I've received word of a whistleblower, Mr. President," Sarah began, her voice echoing with a note of urgency. "This individual claims to have evidence that could expose the deep state and its corrupt practices." Robert's gaze met Matheson's, his eyes shining with a quiet resolve. "I've been investigating the deep state for years, Mr. President," he said. "This whistleblower's information could be the breakthrough we've been waiting for." Matheson leaned forward, his gaze fixed on Sarah and Robert. "Handle this with extreme caution," he advised. "The evidence this whistleblower possesses could be the key to dismantling the deep state's network. We must protect them and ensure that the truth sees the light of day." Sarah and Robert exchanged a glance, their shared determination evident. They understood the gravity of their mission, their duty to uncover the truth and protect the democracy they held dear. With a renewed sense of purpose, Matheson entrusted Sarah and Robert with the task of establishing a secure line of communication with the whistleblower. Their alliance would become the catalyst for unmasking the deep state's operations and restoring faith in the government. Sarah and Robert dove headfirst into the investigation, working tirelessly to establish contact with the whistleblower. Their interactions were shrouded in secrecy, using encrypted channels and code names to protect the identity of the source. In a discreet office within a secure government facility, Sarah and Robert pored over documents, connecting threads, and piecing together the intricate puzzle of the deep state's operations. The room was dimly lit, the glow of computer screens illuminating their determined expressions. Robert, a seasoned investigator with years of experience in navigating the shadows, brought a wealth of knowledge and expertise to the team. His sharp intellect and relentless pursuit of the truth made him an invaluable asset in the fight against the deep state. Sarah, with her keen analytical mind and deep understanding of government operations, served as a guiding force, directing their efforts with precision and clarity. Her loyalty to President Matheson was unwavering, driving her to leave no stone unturned in the pursuit of justice. As they delved deeper into the investigation, Sarah and Robert began to uncover a complex network of powerful individuals and covert operations. They discovered secret meetings held in secluded locations, coded messages exchanged between key players, and a trail of financial transactions designed to obscure the deep state's illicit activities. Their research led them to a hidden facility located deep within the wilderness, a place where the deep state carried out its most clandestine operations. Sarah and Robert carefully planned their approach, aware of the dangers that awaited them. Under the cover of darkness, they infiltrated the facility, moving with the stealth and precision of highly trained operatives. Their presence within the facility revealed a disturbing truth: the deep state's reach extended far beyond what they had initially imagined. They discovered rooms filled with high-tech surveillance equipment, evidence of illegal experiments, and files detailing the deep state's plans to manipulate public opinion and consolidate power. The gravity of their findings weighed heavily upon them, fueling their determination to bring the deep state to its knees. With each piece of evidence they uncovered, Sarah and Robert understood the immense responsibility they carried, the responsibility to expose the deep state's corruption, protect the nation, and ensure that justice was served. As Sarah and Robert continued their investigation, President Matheson recognized their unwavering dedication and the critical role they played in uncovering the truth. He called them into the Oval Office for a private meeting to discuss their findings and strategize the next steps. The atmosphere in the room was tense, the weight of the deep state's operations pressing upon them. The resolute desk served as a symbol of the challenges they faced, its presence a reminder of the strength and resilience required to confront the hidden forces at play. Matheson regarded Sarah and Robert with a mixture of gratitude and concern. "Your work has been instrumental in exposing the deep state's activities," he began. "But we must proceed with caution. The deeper we delve, the more formidable our adversaries become." Robert nodded, his gaze unwavering. "We understand the risks, Mr. President," he replied. "But we cannot back down. The American people deserve to know the truth, and we will do everything in our power to bring the deep state to justice." Sarah echoed Robert's sentiments, her voice filled with determination. "We will continue to investigate every lead, follow every thread until we expose the full extent of the deep state's corruption," she affirmed. "With your support, Mr. President, we can prevail." Matheson's eyes sparkled with a mix of pride and concern. He recognized the immense pressure placed upon Sarah and Robert, the sacrifices they made in the pursuit of truth. He vowed to support them in every way possible, ensuring their safety and providing the resources needed to see their mission through to the end. With their alliance strengthened, President Matheson, Sarah, and Robert knew that they stood united against a powerful adversary. The deep state's grip on the nation would not be easily broken, but with their collective determination and the support of the American people, they were prepared to face the challenges that lay ahead. As Sarah and Robert delved deeper into the investigation, they uncovered a multitude of crimes committed by the deep state, a web of corruption that had ensnared the highest levels of government. The evidence they gathered revealed a shocking abuse of power, a betrayal of the American people's trust. One of the deep state's most egregious crimes was their manipulation of elections. Through covert operations and sophisticated cyber attacks, they had influenced electoral outcomes, ensuring that their preferred candidates remained in power. The will of the people had been subverted, democracy undermined. Furthermore, the deep state had engaged in widespread surveillance of American citizens, violating their privacy and constitutional rights. They had developed sophisticated surveillance technologies, tapping into communication networks and monitoring individuals deemed threats to their control. Innocent citizens were subjected to unwarranted scrutiny, their lives invaded by an unchecked deep state. The deep state's crimes extended beyond domestic borders. They had orchestrated coups in foreign nations, toppling democratically elected leaders to install puppet regimes that served their interests. Entire nations were destabilized, their sovereignty undermined by the deep state's insidious influence. Financial crimes were also rampant within the deep state. They had siphoned off public funds, embezzling taxpayer money to enrich themselves and their cronies. Through complex networks of offshore accounts and shell corporations, they had hidden their ill-gotten gains, shielding themselves from accountability. The deep state had also silenced dissenting voices, targeting journalists, whistleblowers, and activists who dared to expose their crimes. Fear and intimidation were their weapons, as they employed blackmail, character assassination, and even physical violence to protect their secrets. As Sarah and Robert unraveled the deep state's crimes, the magnitude of their task became clear. They were up against a network of powerful individuals embedded in government institutions, intelligence agencies, and corporations, each with their own stake in maintaining the status quo. But Sarah, Robert, and President Matheson knew that the truth had to be exposed. They were determined to dismantle the deep state's network, to restore faith in the government, and to ensure that those responsible faced justice. As Sarah and Robert continued their investigation, they encountered more members of the deep state, an intricate web of influential individuals who had conspired to perpetuate corruption and maintain their stranglehold on power. One such figure was Evelyn Chambers, a high-ranking intelligence official. Chambers had used her position to manipulate intelligence reports, ensuring that information favorable to the deep state's agenda was prioritized, while dissenting voices were silenced or discredited. Her loyalty to the deep state ran deep, and she would stop at nothing to protect its secrets. Another key player in the deep state's network was Victor Stone, a wealthy industrialist with vast resources and connections. Stone had leveraged his financial power to control key industries, exerting influence over policies and regulations to benefit the deep state's objectives. His wealth and influence shielded him from scrutiny, allowing him to operate in the shadows. Sarah and Robert also uncovered the involvement of General Michael Reynolds, a high-ranking military officer. Reynolds had abused his authority, using military resources to further the deep state's agenda. His strategic positioning within the armed forces gave the deep state an additional layer of control and power. The deep state's web extended beyond individuals, encompassing corporations and media conglomerates. They had forged alliances with influential CEOs and media moguls who ensured that their narrative was propagated, shaping public opinion to serve their own interests. The more Sarah and Robert unraveled the deep state's web, the clearer it became that their fight was not just against a few corrupt individuals, it was a battle against a deeply entrenched system of power. The deep state's reach extended far and wide, infecting every facet of government and society. But Sarah and Robert remained undeterred. They knew that exposing the deep state's crimes was essential to restore the balance of power and to uphold the principles of democracy. With each piece of evidence they gathered, they grew closer to the truth, a truth that would shake the foundations of the nation. The breakthrough in Sarah and Robert's investigation came when they received a tip from their anonymous whistleblower, an encrypted message containing a series of coordinates and a cryptic message that hinted at the location of a crucial meeting involving the deep state's highest-ranking members. With a sense of urgency, Sarah, Robert, and their trusted team mobilized. They knew that time was of the essence. This meeting could hold the key to unraveling the deep state's network and exposing the puppeteer, the elusive mastermind behind it all. They arrived at a secluded mansion nestled in the outskirts of the city, a place where the deep state's most secretive gatherings took place. The mansion stood as a testament to the wealth and power amassed by the deep state, its opulent facade hiding the sinister activities within. Under the cover of darkness, Sarah and Robert infiltrated the mansion, their hearts pounding with a mix of anticipation and apprehension. They moved silently through its lavish corridors, evading security measures with expert precision. Finally, they reached the grand hall where the clandestine meeting was taking place. The room was adorned with opulent chandeliers, ornate decorations, and a large table at the center, surrounded by high-ranking members of the deep state. The atmosphere in the room was tense as Sarah and Robert concealed themselves, their eyes scanning the crowd for any sign of the puppeteer. But to their dismay, the mastermind remained elusive, hidden, perhaps, among the shadows of the room. As they listened to the conversations, they learned of the deep state's plans to consolidate power, to manipulate the democratic process, and to silence any opposition. The magnitude of the deep state's influence was staggering, and Sarah and Robert understood the urgency of exposing the truth. But just as they were about to make their move, chaos erupted. The deep state had become aware of their presence, and armed guards swarmed the room. Sarah and Robert fought valiantly, their determination fueled by the knowledge that the truth had to prevail. Amidst the chaos, the puppeteer seized the opportunity to slip away, disappearing into the night. Sarah and Robert pursued, their footsteps echoing in the darkness, but the puppeteer's identity remained a mystery, their true face hidden from view. Defeated but undeterred, Sarah and Robert returned to their base, their minds buzzing with a mix of frustration and determination. They knew that although the puppeteer had escaped, they had uncovered enough evidence to expose the deep state's crimes and bring their members to justice. The fight against the deep state was far from over. Sarah, Robert, and President Matheson understood the immense challenge that lay ahead. They knew that dismantling a network so entrenched in power required not just evidence, but the unwavering support of the American people. They vowed to continue their mission, to rally the nation against corruption, and to ensure that the principles of democracy were upheld. They were prepared to face any obstacle, to expose the deep state's crimes, and to reclaim the government for the people. Sarah and Robert, fueled by their unwavering determination, worked tirelessly to bring down the deep state's network. With the evidence they had gathered, they coordinated a series of meticulously planned operations to dismantle the organization from within. With the support of President Matheson, they enlisted the help of trusted allies within government agencies and the justice system. The net closed in on the deep state's most influential members, Evelyn Chambers, Victor Stone, General Michael Reynolds, and others. In a series of dramatic arrests, the deep state's network unraveled. The American people watched in disbelief as those who had once held positions of power were exposed for their crimes. The truth was laid bare for all to see, the deep state's corruption, manipulation, and abuse of power. The nation rejoiced as justice was served, and the deep state's grip on the government began to crumble. The arrests sent shockwaves through the corridors of power, revealing the extent of the deep state's reach and awakening a newfound determination to safeguard democracy. But amidst the celebrations, a sense of unease lingered. The puppeteer, the elusive mastermind behind it all, remained at large. They had skillfully evaded capture, slipping away into the shadows, leaving no trace behind. Sarah and Robert, though exhausted from their tireless pursuit, understood that the fight was not yet over. The puppeteer's escape served as a stark reminder that the deep state's influence still loomed, waiting for an opportunity to resurface. They knew that they needed to continue their mission, to root out the remaining threads of the deep state and expose the puppeteer's identity. Their alliance with President Matheson grew stronger as they strategized ways to protect the nation from any resurgence of the corrupt organization. Sarah and Robert, now celebrated heroes of the nation, became the public face of the fight against the deep state. Their unwavering dedication and relentless pursuit of justice inspired a wave of citizen activism and participation in the democratic process. Together with President Matheson, they launched a comprehensive campaign to rebuild trust in government institutions and restore transparency. They implemented sweeping reforms, strengthening safeguards against corruption and ensuring that the will of the people remained paramount. The pursuit of the puppeteer consumed their every waking moment. Sarah and Robert followed every lead, chased down every piece of evidence, and sought the assistance of intelligence agencies and international partners. The world watched with bated breath, hoping for the unmasking of the elusive mastermind. But the puppeteer remained one step ahead. They continued to pull strings from the shadows, manipulating events and individuals to further their own agenda. Their true identity remained a mystery, leaving Sarah, Robert, and President Matheson with a sense of frustration and urgency. Years passed, and the fight against the deep state had transformed the nation. The reforms enacted by President Matheson, guided by Sarah and Robert's insights, had strengthened the democratic processes and restored faith in government institutions. However, the puppeteer remained an enigma, a specter haunting the collective consciousness of those who yearned for closure. Despite countless investigations and leads, their true identity eluded capture. Sarah and Robert, now retired from their active roles in the pursuit, continued to advocate for truth and justice. They used their knowledge and experience to mentor a new generation of investigators and activists, ensuring that the fight against corruption would endure. President Matheson, nearing the end of his second term, passed the baton to a successor who shared his commitment to transparency and accountability. The legacy of their alliance would continue, woven into the fabric of the nation. The puppeteer, sensing the relentless pursuit, retreated further into the shadows. Their influence waned, but they remained a lurking threat, a reminder that the fight against corruption was an ongoing battle. The nation was forever changed by the exposure of the deep state's crimes. The fight for justice had sparked a renewed spirit of civic engagement, inspiring citizens to remain vigilant and hold their elected officials accountable. And so, as the curtain fell on this chapter of the nation's history, the puppeteer's true identity remained a mystery. They vanished into obscurity, leaving behind a legacy of fear and a determination among the people to never let such corruption take hold again. The President, Sarah, and Robert understood that the fight against the deep state was not one that could be won overnight. It required an unwavering commitment to truth, justice, and the preservation of democracy. As they reflected on their journey, they knew that they had made a difference that would shape the future of their nation. The fight against the deep state would continue, with new champions stepping forward, fueled by the knowledge that the truth must always prevail. And so, the nation marched forward, forever vigilant, guarding against the forces that sought to undermine their democracy. The deep state's crimes may have been exposed, its network dismantled, but the pursuit of the puppeteer remained an unfinished chapter, a testament to the resilience of the American people and their unwavering commitment to liberty and justice for all. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. Please drop a like and subscribe, share these videos, and comment on these videos. Thanks for your support, and if you could write the word puppeteer in the comments section, I would like to know who made it to the end of the story.